ladies and gentlemen, Moon Knight episode 6, Gods and or Monsters, season finale. We have reached the end of Moon Knight, thank goodness. So, in this review, it takes place, this episode starts, and it's your boy Icon with some Marvel TV. This episode starts where we last left Mark, who was buried in the afterlife. And he left his poor ex-wife, not ex-wife, girlfriend, Layla, to carry on the mission in her place. Now, actually, let me take this off. Now, Ethan Hawke's character, he's trying to release the god of all evil gods. And Layla's whole thing is she's the one charged with trying to stop him. So, well, it's not her job, but she wants to stop him. So she's trying to find the perfect time where she can kill him and slit his throat. And while she's trying to slit his throat, she gets spoken to by the hippo god. And the hippo god was just like, oh, you would be a perfect avatar for me. And I met your daddy and everything. And then she was just like, I don't want to be an avatar. And then she was just like, let me kill him. But then the hippo said, she was like, oh, there's a chance for Mark to be alive. You just have to, and she said, you have to go back to the chamber and break the statue to release Kanju. And then she actually ends up going down to the chamber to release Kanju. When she gets there, her and Kanju have a conversation. And Kanju's like, oh, you must be the avatar. He's like, I don't sense Mark's presence like anywhere on this earthly plane, but you would be the perfect avatar. And then she was like, no. She was like, why is everybody trying to get me to be an avatar? She's like, I don't want to be an avatar. And she's like, I'll help you. She's like, I'll help you kill Ethan Hawke. But she's like, I will not be your slave. And then he was just like, fine then. Then he gets mad. He goes like, both of them, they go down to where Ethan Hawke is. Ethan Hawke at that point, he releases like the demon of all demons who looked like an alligator. And it was a female. When she came out, he pledged his allegiance to the ultimate power. Then she was like, you would make a perfect avatar to help balance the scales. And then, like he linked up. But then Kanju showed up, and then Kanju was just like, I can't let you do this. And then both the alligator lady and Kanju, now they get into this big fight, and this whole big gods fight. Ethan Hawke ended up, I don't know if, he basically killed the other gods, like the other avatars. Like he kind of killed them like one by one. Layla, she saved this one dude. She had pulled him around the corner to safety. And then after she pulled him around the corner to safety, he was just like, oh, we can't stop him. You must help us stop him. And then at that point, she was very scared. And then she was just like, yo, this dude is powerful. Plus he got like the alligator lady on his side. She didn't want to merge with Kanju because she was just like, I don't trust you. She was like, Mark doesn't trust you. So she's like, I'm not going to merge with you. But then after a while, I guess she came to the realization that she does, in fact, need some sort of power boost if she's going to help stop them. So she called back out to the hippo. And she said to the hippo, she was just like, I think I've changed my mind. She was like, I would actually like to be your avatar. And then the hippo was just like, oh, that's great. She's like, I have the perfect costume and everything. Now, the costume that she had, they ripped it off of Wonder Woman or the Thanagarians, but it was still dope. It was still a dope costume at that point. So the transition was made for her to be the avatar for the hippo. Now, back in the afterlife, Mark and the hippo, because the hippo was everywhere, Mark and the hippo were having a conversation, and the hippo told Mark, she was just like, oh, you've earned your place. So she's like, here's the afterlife. You can be here in peace and tranquility for all eternity. And then Mark was just like, but Steven is still trapped in the sand. And then she was like, well, unfortunately, she's like, Steven's not real. And, she's like, there's nothing we can do for him. So he was just like, so it's either I stay here in the afterlife and be at peace for all eternity and leave Steven out there in the sand. He was like, or I can go get Steven and then try to go back to save Layla and save the world. She was just like, yes, but she was like, but you can't do that. She's like, you must choose the afterlife. And he was like, sorry, bitch. And he dipped. And then, he busted through. He went to Steven. He got Steven out of the sand. And then when him and Steven actually went back, tried to go back through the door to take them to the real world, which the hippo helped them get back to the real world, they busted through. They went back. Mark woke back up. And then when Mark woke back up, that's when Kanju was like, I sense Mark's presence. And then he reconnected with him. Like the whole thing happened. He's like, do you swear to fight on my behalf and do my bidding and then be my Moon Knight? And then he turned into Moon Knight again. So now that he's Moon Knight, he's fighting Ethan Hawke's character because Ethan Hawke had that weird glowing purple stick. Now, I'm going to say this. One aspect about the show that actually is cool is the fight scenes when we actually do get fight scenes. The Moon Knight fight scenes are good. The problem that I have with the Moon Knight fight scenes are, now that both Mark and Steven are aware of each other, the constant switching back and forth is annoying to me. Especially because, thank God at this point, like, Steven is actually, he knows how to fight now. Like, he's tapped into the fighting aspect of it, because there was even a moment where he was fighting monsters by himself, and then him and Ethan Hawke were going at it, and he was doing like the martial arts with the kick and everything. So at least he knows how to fight. But like the whole thing with him wearing the suit with the mask, it's like, it's goofy. It's hard to take him seriously when he's dressed like that. It's like, if you're gonna have Steven be a part of the action, give him a better costume. I understand you're trying to separate the difference between Mark and Steven, but you got him looking like Boo Boo the Fool, and ain't nobody got time for that. So, and then I said, and plus, if they're gonna be in a fight scene, let one of them fight a significant portion of the scene before you switch to the other person. The constant switching back and forth during the same like fight sequence, like I said, it's just it's annoying to me personally, but the fight scenes are still good. So then there's a moment where he gets Ethan Hawke down. Ethan Hawke gets him down. He actually has him down for the countdown for the kill, and then that's when Layla swoops her ass in there with her bird wings and everything. But she did have a nice costume. Like, she definitely did have a nice costume. She knocked him out. So now there's like a double fight between Layla, well, a triple fight actually between Layla, Ethan Hawke's character, Mark, and Steven. Actually a quadruplet. It was like a foursome fight between all four of those characters, because it was constant back and forth. So while they were fighting, like I said, they're doing the fighting thing, like Kanju is fighting the alligator, and then while they're fighting the alligator, there was a moment where Ethan Hawke had pinned Layla to a car, and then he got Mark and Steven down, and he actually had them pinned down for the count. He was going to kill him. He was going to take his staff and actually kill him. And then right before he actually dealt the final blow and he killed him, Mark or Steven or whoever was in control at that point blacked out. And as of this point, we only know about two personas. So when he blacked out, I mean, it was almost like, okay, so are you Steven now or are you Mark? But then after he blacked out, we came back to, reality or whatever. Ethan Hawke was dead. And I'm just like, when did this happen? And I'm like, so we just come back and he gone. All the soldiers are gone. All the followers are gone. Like, everybody's dead. Like, he killed everybody. Layla saw the whole thing. She never explained to him what she saw. She was just like, Mark, what was that? She was like, how could you? And he was just like, bitch, I passed out. He was like, I don't even know what happened. And then apparently he blacked out, and then when he came to, everybody was dead. And then I'm like, how do we know that Layla wasn't one that killed all those people, and she's trying to blame it on him? But anyway, so then after that, they killed everybody, and then the two of them went back into the temple. They performed some Egyptian mumbo jumbo, like some like some magic words, and with the magic words, they were able to trap the alligator into Ethan Hawke's body. And then when they trapped her soul, her spirit back into his body, that's when Kanju told Mark, he was like, now it's time to kill them before it's too late. And the alligator's whole thing was, because the beef between Kanju and the alligator, it was basically the alligator saying, I'm doing mankind a service because I kill people before. No, because, well, Kanju had said, he was like, he said that I only kill, he didn't say kill. He said, I only punish those who have committed wrong. And then the alligator was like, well, I kill them before they have a chance to commit wrong, and then, but that was her whole motto. But then after that, but now because they defeated her and they trapped her spirit inside Ethan Hawke, that's when Kanju was just like, oh, Mark, it's time to kill them both and be done with them once and for all. And then he was just like, okay, but we've beat them. They're defeated. Like, she's trapped. Like, she's not getting out. He's like, oh, she could get out one day. He was like, you must kill them now before they have a chance to commit any heinous acts. And then he was like, that's what she said. What I'm saying? He was like, now you sound like the alligator, because she's talking about offing people before they get a chance to do anything wrong. You're basically telling me to do the same thing. And then that's when Mark was like, look, bro, he was like, you want them dead so bad. He threw him the knife. He was like, yo, you kill him because I'm out this bitch. And then he said, plus, you promised that after we helped you defeat them, you'd let me go. So I'd appreciate it if you let us go and we can continue on. Kanju then let them go. And then when he let them go, we never saw Layla again, and I was not okay with that. Because like, is she still the avatar for the hippo? According to Mark and Steven, he thought that he was done. Well, no, he did say, I'm going to continue to be a hero. So I guess he is going to continue to be the Moonknight. He just wasn't fucking with Kanju. But then when Mark woke up, and again, it was so stupid because like we never saw Layla again. There was no conversation with the hippo. There was no conversation with Layla about what she saw when he, when he blacked out, and all that like really bothered me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there was no reason to not answer those questions. But then when Mark and Steven woke up the next day, they were talking to each other with, like back and forth, with not through the mirror, not through a shadow, but they were literally just like having a conversation back and forth with each other. They tried to get out of the bed. And then when they got out of the bed, they were handcuffed to the bed again, just like they were in the first episode, which is what Steven was doing to try to keep Mark from breaking out when he thought he was just schizophrenic and crazy. So apparently now there's something else going on here that we don't know about. And then that's how the episode ended. And I'm like, what the hell is this? like the ending was very flat to me. And then in the post-credit scene, it showed, and even the whole thing about like Ethan Hawke being his psychiatrist, I still don't know what the hell was going on with that. But then it showed Ethan Hawke's character in the nut house, and then somebody went in the nut house, like killed a bunch of people and took him out of the nut house. They put Ethan Hawke in a limo. And then while he's in the limo, then Kanju's in the limo wearing a suit, and then he's just like, oh, you know, he said, why would I give up Mark or Steven as my avatar when he doesn't realize how troubled he actually is? And then Ethan Hawke was just like laughing at him, and then he was like, meet the third personality, Jake something or other, and Jake something. It was Jake something. And then, you know, when they showed us who Jake was, Jake is actually Mark and Steven, because Mark has a third personality that neither one of them were aware of. And obviously Jake was the one that saved them and killed all those people when Ethan Hawke had him down for the count. But also Jake is the one that's still doing the bidding for Kanju outside of the whole thing between Mark and Steven. So again, there's a third persona that's out there on the loose that only Layla knows about, Layla and Kanju, but we don't know about, you know, how that's going to transpire. We don't know how she feels about it. We don't know any questions, comments, and or concerns. We don't even know if Layla's still an avatar, because again, they just shitted us on the ending. And thank you for tuning in. So, yeah, overall, the show wasn't the best. Like, it had decent, I mean, I still feel like, the 6-episode format hurt the show, because since they only gave us 6 episodes for the season, there's not a lot of character development that you can do within that period of time. And then what happens is, because they try to do character development at the last second, we end up getting episode 4, which was basically no Moonknight, no action. It was just one whole episode of just backstory and conversation. And I feel like if they would have at least done 8 to 10 episodes, they could have better fleshed out the story. We could have got a better ending, you know, in the whole thing. But it just felt like, because they only had 6 episodes, they were just like, all right, let's just dump all this shit in and let the fans sort it out like at a later time. But it's not even just a problem with Moonknight, because like Loki was bad. You know, WandaVision wasn't the best. It had good episodes, but overall WandaVision had 9 episodes. I was 50-50 on Marvel's What If. Captain America Winter Soldier was the best Marvel series out of all of them, you know, but the rest of them, like, they're really not like hitting, you know, like the way you would want them to hit. And it's a problem. And I think, as I said, I think overall that problem can be fixed by just extending these seasons just a little bit more so we can get more stuff. I mean, because the whole thing about Moonknight, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm more interested with what Layla's doing than I am about Mark and Steven. The whole thing about like Layla and her dad being in the military, and now her being the avatar for the hippo, I'm like, where's the show for that? You know what I'm saying? Because like, that's actually more interesting, instead of these two schizophrenics going back and forth over some shit that nobody cares about anymore. But I mean, let's share your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Moonknight. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram, always on YouTube. Definitely on the comments section on YouTube, where you can let me know. Let me know what you thought about Moonknight. Were you disappointed with how they handled the character? Were you disappointed about the fact that they brought Jake in at the very last second? Because I know a lot of people, they are aware of the different personas that he has, but you know, like, were you okay with that? Do you think there's going to be a season 2? Did they sign on for a season 2? Share your questions, comments down below, and we will continue to talk about it. Check out the Otakus Geeks Podcast with myself, Sean, Justin, and Gotham Geek Girl Nadya, where we talk about all things comic book, geek, superhero related, etc. Great podcast. Check it out. Link will definitely be in the description. We're doing a whole bunch of things right now. We got Doctor Strange on the channel. We got Superman and Lois when Superman and Lois returns in 3 weeks. We've got Naomi. We got The Flash. And as always, we got that Young Justice. Naomi is on her season finale too, so definitely check that out as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So signing out for another piece of Marvel TV. We'll see what the next Marvel TV show is. You know, check those mirrors. You know, check out for your avatars. Look out below. And until then, we're out this.